Hi, this is Subramaniam Shankaran. Now, there is always an issue to debate, okay, with respect to the AI that's actually called as the AI liability. Now, who is accountable, responsible? So we have the RACI matrix, right? So who is responsible, accountable, consulted, and informed? Now, there is an ongoing lawsuit in Germany between Google and the other guys, okay? So the court has declared that if you are going to prepare or summarize the news, okay, and then you're going to present it, if you're going to touch an activity, touch the content, then you are liable. If you're not going to touch the content, you're just going to forward the content, you are not liable. So even in your AI application, if you're going to, let's say, retrieval augmented generation, if you're going to just scrape the website and produce the content and give the citation, we don't actually have a problem. But if you're going to process the content and put in your own intelligence and then present it to the user, okay, and that's what liability is going to be on the producer, okay, the provider basically. Now there are three parties involved. One is the content is on the web page, okay, the primary data. The secondary data is where the RAG provider is going to do a web scraping. Okay, not all the time. Okay, in case the data sources are internal, that's a different issue. But if they want to look out for the external information, then you will retrieve it from a third-party website, many third-party websites. Okay, and this is an ongoing war between the content provider and the RAG provider. Okay, there's a different issue. Okay, how can you scrape my website without my permission, the terms and conditions, all this thing? I'm not getting out of that particular debate. Now, the RAG provider is going to scrape the website as one of the data sources and then produce it to the requester, okay, the customer, the user, blah blah blah, whom server is going to be. Now, if the RAG provider is going to summarize the content or do some modifications, extraction, okay, or any modification to the data and then present it to the user, then he is liable. If the users are going to say that the content is hallucinated or it's a false information, then he is the RAG provider is actually liable for it. If he's just going to pass on the information, okay, like an like a delivery boy, okay, just going to pass on the information with a citation, he might not be liable for it. Okay, so there are two things that we need to understand. Now, if you're going to summarize on the news and then provide it to the user, then the company, the provider which is summarizing the news, is liable for whatsoever is going to be presented. If it is not summarized, okay, you are just going to present whatsoever has been published on a third party website with a citation saying that this is where I got this details from, okay, data provenance, okay, linkability, auditability, lineage, traceability, etc. Right? So, in that particular sense, if you are just going to produce the content, say, I have retrieved it from this place, it's absolutely fine. So, most of the people are now migrating from a normal search engine, okay, to an LLM, okay, AI application. Okay, they don't want to search, go to the search engine. Okay, just ask the question to Perplexity, Gemini, ChatGPT, Cloud. Okay, everything is being done. So slowly the generation is actually changing. Now for the LLM providers, if there's going to be a prompt requesting for information, okay, and you are producing it, you're producing an output, you are getting the source, you are getting the data, for information, various sources. And if you're going to process it and give it to the customer, and whatever you are processing and presenting it to the customer, you are liable for it. Okay, the normal search engines are just going to say that okay, this is a website in which the information is there. There is a different issue. Moment the data is just delivered as it is, you are not liable. Moment you are going to process it, process the information, present to the customer, you are liable for it. So ensure. Okay, I'm just giving you an example, but wherever it is applicable, ensure that if you're going to process the data, the liability is on you. If you're just going to forward the data, the liability is not on you. But for forwarding the data, you need to have an agreement. If the publicly classified information is what you're forwarding, we don't have a problem. But the classification of internal or private, etc., you need to have an agreement with the third party before forwarding the data to the customer. Okay. So the Subramaniam Shankaran, join me for regular news on AI, cyber security, and data protection. Cheers, and bye bye.